guys, and welcome back to another video of ECK Sports. And with draft day being today, we're going to do what I think is actually going to happen in this upcoming NFL draft. I kind of think of the NFL draft as like Christmas for the NFL. It's like, who's that new toy you're going to get? Because each team has a bunch of draft picks, so we'll definitely see. Today, we're only going to go over first round. And this is what I think based on other mock drafts and what they need and rumors and all that kind of stuff about who is going to get taken by each team. I think we should start with the number one overall pick, where it's going to be Trevor Lawrence. I mean, to the Jaguars, I don't have to do explaining. It's going to happen. So, yeah, he's going to the Jaguars. That's really it. You should just get the jersey already, and basically it. And then Zach Wilson, to the Jets. Again, this is kind of obvious. These are two picks that are pretty much set in stone. And just like last year, the draft starts with the third overall pick. So, with the third, you've heard Lance, you've heard Mac Jones. Look, I've heard both rumors. I believe one more than the other, and the one I believe more is the one that doesn't make as much sense. Mac Jones is gonna go to the 49ers. Again, this is not my opinion. I would go with Fields. I would probably go with Lance or maybe Fields, but I actually think that they're going to take Mac Jones. With the fourth pick, with the Falcons, you've heard a couple guys, right? You've heard Fields, you've heard Lance, you've heard even Mac Jones, Kyle Pitts, even Penei Sewell or Parsons or Surtain. Those are some picks, but I'm going to say Justin Fields. I think if you get him to sit behind Matt Ryan for a year and learn behind a very good quarterback, and I think that the Falcons do have other big needs, I still think that they should go Parsons or Sewell in this spot. I think that the Fields pick would be good, and I think that this is what the Falcons are looking at, and this is what they're going to do. Fifth pick, again, this one's kind of easy. It's going to be Penei Sewell. If it's not Sewell, it's probably going to be Chase. It would be nice to have Chase pair up with Burrow. But again, Burrow's coming off an injury, and you gotta protect him because that Bengals offensive line is really bad. So you gotta protect Burrow. That's their number one priority. And then maybe in the later rounds or even the second round, they attack the receiver group. They need Penei Sewell. They just do. And then with the sixth pick, I've said that they should go with Waddle, the Dolphins. I just think the Tua connection, and he fits really good with the Dolphins in that he'd come in and play the slot, which is, they already have two big, tall outside receivers. I still think that they're actually going to pick Jamar Chase. Now, in the spot, I would not be surprised if they go with Smith. I honestly wouldn't be surprised if they go with a lot of guys. I wouldn't be surprised with Smith. I wouldn't be surprised with Slater, Chase, Waddle. I would not be, even Pitts. I would not be surprised with any of them. Or even Parsons. I see all those guys that could go to the Dolphins, but I think Jamar Chase will be the pick. Next, you have the Lions at the 7th overall pick, and I think they're going to go Jaylen Waddle. I think Waddle is a very talented receiver. He can do so many different things, and if you're looking at what the Lions need right now, in this spot, they're probably taking either Waddle or Smith, and I think that they go with Waddle because he has a little bit more versatility than Smith does, and the worse your receiving core, kind of the more versatility you need. So not only does this pick make sense, but I think it's the pick the Lions will do. With the 8th overall pick, I've said this shouldn't happen, but I think Kyle Pitts will get taken to the Panthers. I don't know. I think that they probably think that their tight end situation isn't great right now. They probably overrate their defense and don't understand that their secondary is really bad right now. So I would not go with Pitts. I would go with Surtain or Parsons in this spot, but you can't hate the pick because having another weapon for Sam Darnold on offense would be pretty good. And then with the 9th overall pick, with Teddy Bridgewater just getting traded for a 6th round pick, it's really tough. But what I think is I don't think that the Broncos believe in Drew Lock, which actually, I'm kind of a Drew Lock guy. I kind of like Drew Lock. So I don't think they should give up on him quite this early. I think they should give him another year, but they're not. He's barely even started for 2 years. It's been a year and a half. I think you have to give Drew Lock another year, but that's not what they're going to do. They traded for Teddy B. They're probably just going to sit Drew Lock. I think they're taking Trey Lance, have him kind of sit behind Teddy Bridgewater. he'll probably come over and be that starter probably midway through the year. It's really tough to say what the Broncos are going to go with. They're such a tough team to mock. The Teddy B trade has been done. But again, this is predicting what I think is going to happen, not what I would do, which I would definitely go a different route here. With the 10th overall pick, I mean, it's simple. The Cowboys are taking Patrick Surtain. I mean, you need a cornerback. He's not going to be a great corner year one. If you're expecting that, I'm sorry, but it's just not going to happen. Cornerback is a tough position to translate from college to the NFL. So it's probably going to take Surtain some time. But by like year 2 or 3, he could be really good. All right, and then with the 11th pick, the Giants again are in an interesting spot. They could go with Slater. They could even go with Elijah Vera Tucker, Devontae Smith, Micah Parsons. But I think that they're going to go with Rashawn Slater. You know, Dave Gettleman loves his hog mollies, the big guys up front. And I think that Slater to the Giants just makes a lot of sense because that offensive line is really bad. And you need to protect Daniel Jones as he's going into year 3. And they already have a plethora of weapons. But I would not be surprised if they went Smith or Parsons. With the 12th overall pick, I think that the Eagles are going to take Devontae Smith. I mean, I think Devontae Smith is special. I think he's a special talent. If he goes to the Eagles, I don't think he'll be an elite receiver. I think if he gets put in the right scheme, he'll be great. I think he's going to be a really good number 2 receiver in this league. Now you're like, oh, why are you taking a number 2 receiver this early? But who knows? Maybe he could be better. Maybe he could be a number 1 receiver in this league. But we'll see. I mean, Devontae Smith to the Eagles would be a good pick, and I do think that that's what's going to happen because, I mean, they need weapons. With the 13th overall pick, I think that the Chargers are going to go with Christian Darrisaw. I think they're going to continue to protect Justin Herbert and get another tackle, and that would just make that Chargers offensive line insane with Filer and Lindsley being added to the team along with Bulaga. But I think that Christian Darrisaw has some good talent and could be a very good player in the NFL. And then with the 14th overall pick, I see the Vikings going with AVT Elijah Vera Tucker. I'm a big fan of AVT. He can play both guard and tackle. He probably projects better at the guard, but I could definitely see him playing tackle. And he's just a good prospect in general. So I think that if the Vikings were to get him here, that would be a pretty good pick. And then in the 15th overall pick, I think the Patriots are going to take Micah Parsons. Now, I don't think he should fall this far, but I think he will because of the character concerns, and I think there's some question about like if he's a real Mike linebacker or if he's the strong side or if he's a weak side, which we know he's not. It's really tough to see what Parsons is going to be, but I really like Parsons as a player. Like, I think he's very talented, but I just feel like teams are going to pass him up, which I think is stupid, but again, this is a predictive mock draft. And then with the 16th overall pick, I see the Cardinals taking J.C. Horn. This has been a mocked pick for a while now, and you know Cardinals fans really want this pick probably. They really say they need a cornerback, which they do. J.C. would be a very, very good addition to that Cardinals team. And then with the 17th pick, the Raiders are going to take Jeremiah Owusu-Karamoah. The linebacking core wasn't amazing. Littleton wasn't great. McMillan was fine, not amazing. Kwiatkowski was alright as well. But I think that their linebacking core isn't great, and they could add a young guy to that linebacking core like Jeremiah Owusu-Karamoah. With the 18th pick, I just think this pick makes too much sense. It's going to be Azeez Ojulari to the Dolphins. He fits their scheme pretty well. He'll come off the edge. The Dolphins lost both Shaq Lawson and Kyle Van Noy, which are guys that can rush the passer, and you lose both of them. So yeah, you gotta replace them, and Azeez Ojulari would be a nice guy to do it with. With the 19th overall pick, this might be a little bit of a reach, but I think that the Washington football team would go with Jamin Davis. They need a linebacking core. They need someone to add to that linebacking core because the linebacking core is full of like a bunch of players. Washington's linebacking core is really tough to talk about because like it's not amazing, but it's not bad, but it's not good. But they also have depth, but it's kind of bad depth. Like the players they have aren't great. So if you add a guy like Jamin Davis, I think it could work well, like Kevin Pierre-Louis, but again, I have no clue what he's going to be. And then after that, with the 20th overall pick, I think the Bears are going to go Rashad Bateman. With Allen Robinson most likely leaving, you need to replace him with Rashad Bateman. You still have Darnell Mooney and Anthony Miller. Could add another guy to that receiving room. And I believe Anthony Miller may have gotten traded, so that could be another reason why the Bears should have Rashad Bateman. But that would be a really good pick for the Bears. Allen Robinson's probably going to leave. That's just what I think, because I don't think the Bears are going to be any good. So you probably see Allen Robinson leaving, which means that you're going to need to replace him. And there you go, Rashad Bateman. With the 21st overall pick, I think that the Colts are going to go Jalen Phillips. I don't buy the rumors of him going 9 or 10 or 11 or 12. No, I think this is about where he goes. Jalen Phillips is pretty good. What worries me is the injury. The love for football does not worry me. Yeah, because he had to mentally retire. Yeah, when you get a bunch of concussions, you may have to do that. People are acting like concussions is nothing. No, they're not. There's something. Like, concussions are real. And with the Colts, for a team that needs an edge rusher, this would just be such a good fit in that scheme. It's a need too. With the 22nd overall pick, with Adoree Jackson leaving, you gotta take Greg Newsome, cornerback. He would fit really good at the Titans. Of course, with Caleb Farley's injury, and now I think he's tested with his injury, he's gone down mock drafts. Greg Newsome has kind of taken over that number 3 guy at the cornerback position. He used to be like 6, but he's jumped up to 3 now after the Farley injury. I really like Greg Newsome as a player. I think he has upside, and I think this would be a good pick for the Titans. And then with the 23rd overall pick, I think that the New York Jets are going to take Najee Harris, get a quarterback in Zach Wilson, give him someone to run the ball to, and that would be a very good pick with Najee Harris, who is a beast. Watching that guy at Alabama is it's just very, very entertaining, I should say. With the 24th overall pick, I think that the Steelers are going to go with Sam Cosmi. Sam Cosmi, he's, again, a pretty good player all around. I really liked him last year, but he's now kind of falling down mock drafts and Slater. I do like Slater more just from watching film and stuff. I watch other people's film reviews and stuff. And Sam Cosmi, he could definitely blossom into being good, especially if they do bring back Alejandro Villanueva. With the 25th overall pick, I think that the Jacksonville Jaguars are going to go with Christian Barmore. You heard rumors of them signing Dalvin Tomlinson, which they didn't end up doing. But Barmore, he can easily slide in and be good. He has a lot of talent. Watching this guy at Alabama also, he was a big disruptor in the middle. I would say, though, he wasn't as good in the beginning of the year. So I think he would be a day 1 impact player for the Jaguars. With the 26th overall pick, the Browns are going to go with Kwity Paye. Now, Kwity Paye a while ago was being mocked to go in around 10, 11 area, but now it's like the 20s. And Kwity puts a lot of pressure on the quarterback. I would say he could be like a Leonard Williams type guy. I think that that's the type of guy that Kwity Paye could end up being. They're pretty similar players, I would say. So, with the Browns, with Myles Garrett on the opposite side and Sheldon Richardson in the middle, that definitely makes things a lot easier for Kwity Paye in his rookie year when he has those other 2 players. So I definitely think that Kwity Paye would be a very good pick for the Browns. With the 27th overall pick, the Ravens would go with Joseph Osai. Again, I had this pick in my mock draft. I really do think it's going to happen. You lost Judon, you lost Ngakoue, and there's a guy that fits the 3-4 scheme perfectly. I know I said Azeez Ojulari does. Joseph Osai fits it better. A lot better. He's better in coverage. He's pretty used to playing in coverage at Texas, and he was comfortable in it. And he can rush the passer too. I think he'll probably be asked to rush the passer more this year, which will probably give him more, if he was asked to rush the passer more, I think that he would have gotten more sacks. Joseph Osai would be such a good fit on the Ravens. And then with the 28th overall pick, this is an obvious one. A lot of people are having this pick. Zaven Collins to the Saints. The Saints need him, and he's just a perfect fit on that team. And would be a really good building block, as I believe they lost Kwame Alexander, so he would be a great guy to fill in for Quam and be a day one impact starter. You heard a lot about him. I'm going to go Tevin Jenkins with losing David Bakhtiari to injury and guys like Corey Linsley. I know he's a center, and I believe they cut their right tackle. So you're going to need some offensive linemen, and why not get the best offensive lineman available, which is probably Tevin Jenkins. So that, in my eyes, I would give it an A. I'm telling you right now. When I'm doing my draft grades, I'm going to tell you if that's the pick, which I think it will be, giving it an A. The 30th pick in the draft, I was really close between Travis Etienne and Pat Freiermuth for the Bills, but I'm going to go with Pat Freiermuth. I think that they trust Zach Moss more than they trust Tyler Kroft, so that means that they take the tight end, obviously, over the running back. Also, I mean, you do have Devin Singletary, too, who I was really high on going into the year, but Zach Moss stole a lot of his carries, and he just didn't look as good as he did the year before. And then with the 31st overall pick, with losing Orlando Brown, I think it almost makes too much sense that the Ravens would pick Alex Leatherwood. This is another guy that I thought was going to go at like 10 a little while ago, but he's kind of fallen down draft boards, which I don't get it. He's not great against speed rushers, but he's pretty good. He is. Alex Leatherwood, I mean, you watch him, you see he's really good. I don't know where the idea of him not being great came from, and I think that he could be a very good tackle in this league, especially when you're with Ronnie Stanley, who in my opinion is probably a top 3, maybe even the best left tackle in the NFL. I think that will definitely be the pick there. And then with the last pick in the draft, the Buccaneers will probably take Jason away. This is not who I think they should take. I think they should probably go D-line, like D-tackle. You've heard edge for them, but I think that they will end up going Jason away. Alright guys, thanks for watching, and if you did enjoy, make sure you slap the like and subscribe. We're really close to 90 subscribers now, and road to 100 subscribers, we're kind of close to that too. And yeah, see you guys next time. Peace.